Mr. Roberts, the good news is that there are no broken bones here. So I think you've just suffered a really nasty scrape and probably some ligamentous injury here on your ankle. I'm going to dress this right now. In a few minutes, the nurse will come over and put on a splint for you. Mr. Roberts, I noticed from reviewing your record today that you've been here several times this year with other injuries, and each time you were here, you'd also been drinking around the time of the injury. And I'm concerned about that because alcohol can cause injuries such as your ankle today, and it can also cause high blood pressure, and I noticed today that your blood pressure is pretty high. Would you mind if I spent a few minutes going over your alcohol screening form with you?
Just say what you have to say.
Well, what I understand is that you're drinking 3 or 4 beers each night, watching TV at home. And then a couple of nights a week you're going out with your friends and having a few more beers or a few more hard drinks.
Doctor, I appreciate your concern, but please don't tell an old man how to live his life.
I can assure you, sir, that I don't want to interfere with the way that you live your life. I do, however, want to give you some information that's important so you can make some choices about a healthy life. What, if any, connection do you see today between your injury and your drinking?
Look, I slipped on the ice tonight. It could have happened to anyone. You think that it has to do with my drinking. It could happen to anyone.
Well, that may be true, sir, but we do know that drinking any amount of alcohol can impair your balance, and it can impair your judgment, and sometimes you may not just have been able to see the ice. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I suppose that's possible.
We also know that alcohol, as one ages, affects us differently. It goes to your brain quicker, and it also can affect you with the medications that you take. We think that if you can stay within certain guidelines, and for those over the age of 65, that's 1 drink a day. And what we mean of 1 drink a day is either 1 beer, 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits, or 5 ounces of wine. If you can stay within those limits, then you're less likely to end up here today like with an injury, or it maybe can control your blood pressure. Now that I've told you some of these things and we've had this little bit of a discussion, I'd like to show you this readiness ruler. And the ruler goes from 1 to 10, 1 being totally not ready to change any aspect of your drinking patterns, and 10 being very ready to change any aspect of your drinking. Where do you think you fall within that range?
Oh, I would say about a 5.
5, that's good. 5 means you're 50% ready to change. Why don't you choose a lesser number like a 2 or a 3?
I don't know. I'm thinking about what you told me. You told me that I'm drinking more than is recommended. I did lose my balance tonight and sprained my ankle.
So that's true. It may have affected your balance today and contributed to your fall. Are there any other reasons why you might want to change?
Well, I live alone and I can't afford to fall.
I know, living alone, you could cause some consequences with falls. I noticed that you're wearing a wedding ring. Is being alone new for you?
You know, Doctor, I never drank like this when my wife was alive. I used to drink heavy years ago, but I promised her that I would quit. And I did. I worked as an accountant then. It was beginning to affect my job. I really got disgusted with myself, so I quit.
Well, that was great that you could quit back then. Tell me some more things that are happening now.
I miss my wife. My kids live far away. I found a friend in the bottle, I guess you could say. I can always find someone to spend time with at the bar. And once I start drinking, I just can't stop.
I can appreciate that you're going to the bar and that can help you find friends and maybe ease your loneliness. But What do you think your wife would want you to do now?
I can't imagine what she would think if she could see me drinking like this. But living alone is more than I can handle.
Living alone is hard for anyone to handle. But it sounds like that in the past you were able to quit, and perhaps since you're having trouble just having one drink a night, staying within those limits, maybe the best thing for you to do is to not drink at all like you've been able to do in the past.
Well, I did it once, and I suppose I can do it again. Maybe I should go to AA again. I did it once. I used to go to the AA meetings. I can always go with my cousin. He'd be willing to take me there.
I think that's a great idea. Maybe if you go to the AA meetings, you'll meet some other friends as well. And I was just wondering if maybe you'd want to talk to your primary care provider about all this too. You could speak to him about your loneliness, about drinking, and also he's going to need to follow you up with your ankle injury and check on your blood pressure.
Well, I've been going to Dr. Jones for about 10 years now, but lately I've been missing some appointments, and actually what I'm afraid of is I'm afraid that he'll bring up the subject of my drinking.
Well, I think we have a really good plan now, and I think that things are going to work out better for you if we can stick to the plan. I have a discharge plan here for you, and I'm going to write down those things that we discussed. Number 1 is you're going to attempt to quit drinking. Number 2 is that you're going to go to AA meetings. And number 3 is that you're going to call for an appointment with your primary care provider. This is really just a commitment for you. How does it sound to you?
Sounds great. I think I can give it a try.
Great. Would you sign right here for me, please?
Sure.
I really appreciate your taking the time to speak with me, Mr. Roberts, and I really think that things will get better if we were able to follow this plan.
And I really appreciate your concern, Doctor. You've been a big help to me.
Thank you very much. The nurse is going to come by and give you some medication and help splint your ankle, and hopefully if I see you it won't be here in the emergency department.
Okay.